But good evening, and welcome to Simply Went to the Podcast. Tonight, we're going to enjoy an amazing panel. This panel consists of ministers, clergy members, regular people, couples that were considered couple goals who went through trials and tribulations and found themselves in a broken place. Join me tonight as I myself sit on the panel and we give advice and we take questions and answers from our audience. You all will join me live. Stay tuned and enjoy. Did this panel as a tribute to Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I myself am a survivor of domestic violence. The actual host of the panel is a survivor of domestic violence. So tonight we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics, from generational curse to domestic violence to sexual molestation and sexual assault, as well as couple issues. What are some things that couples go through that they have to overcome together as a unit, if they can actually overcome it? I think this panel that's assembled here tonight is a very great selection of people who have been through several different things, and I really do hope you all enjoy it. This is Minister Markeisha. She is an author as well. She wrote the book, The Art of Outloving Your Spouse. So you want to tell the people of the podcast a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do?
Well, my name is Markeisha Coleman, and I am the creator of Creators Girl Talk Show. Our brand is Creators World, and so we are trying to get it up and running. When we do, the Creators Kids, we have Creators World Apostolic Fellowship. We got The Creators Boy, which is my husband, Bishop Dwayne Coleman. He's a gospel artist. God gave me a brand, and it says I am, because He is. So I am delivered, I am whole, I am free, I am beautiful. And we have some for men that say like I am brave, I am smart, and different things like that. So we're out here just supporting what Evangelist Dina is doing. I also wrote a book called The Art of Outloving Your Spouse. I wrote it was the 22. November 17th is my birthday, and I launched it on my birthday. This is dear to my heart. It's some experiences I went through. It talks about the mama's boy, the daddy's girl. It talks about Hosea. If anybody knows anything about Hosea, Hosea had to marry a whore. And he was compelled, God compelled him to keep going back, all the way till he had to even buy her back. She had outside kids and everything. So I talk about that in my book. Because what if God don't tell you what it is? What if you do have to stay? What if it is,
Yeah.
we be like, no, I'm out. That's my deal breaker.
Yeah.
But what if you leave too soon when God can do something? I ain't into starting over.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it is. That's the truth. That's the truth.
So with Creators Girl Talk Show, I have my co-host, Annie, Pastor Annie, Pastor Michelle, Pastor Melissa down there, Kelly D, she's a minister. Of course, that's me. We've been doing this for we're going on about 6 years now, going strong, and we talk about anything. Our slogan is, you can talk about anything, and we talk about anything, everything.
Yeah.
I wanted this platform to talk about things that we don't discuss in the church that's killing people. So many people are leaving the church because they've been hurt by people. There's leadership, there's lay people, and we're trying to break those barriers. This is something everybody needs to talk about. This is going to be some real talk when this discussion go forward. So some people can get healed from some stuff. And you don't have to hold all that stuff in, because that's what's killing us. So that's what Creators Girl Talk Show about. That's us in the
Amen. Amen. Well, I look forward to seeing you on the panel. I'm going to show my guests around a little bit. So we got Paparazzi in the building. You want to tell the audience a little bit about what it is you do?
Yes, I sell Paparazzi. The name of my business is Jordan J's Jewelry, named after the baby that I had lost 4 years ago. So I'm just pushing it out.
Getting it on. That's all you got to do is press. That's what the Bible tells us, to press forward through all things. Press through it. If this what that look like, if this what healing, the broken place looks like for you, praise God for that. Good luck to you tonight, and I hope you do good in sales. We got the goodies table. Hey, you want to tell the audience a little bit about your table?
My name is Vernisha. I am the owner of Bath and Beauty Queen, where I have homemade baskets. They come full front to back. They are $20.
Okay, girl, put my basket up like
And they are all full front to back, and they are $20. I make every single one with a little love and passion.
Amen.
Also, I have body wash and Victoria's Secret and Bath and Body Works as well.
Yes. All right. Well, good luck to you tonight.
Welcome to Backstage. This is the Adam versus Eve extravaganza. Debate, or whatever you want to call it.
It's not going to be a debate, but it is going to get a little hot. Men, we want you to chime in. Please chime in. We're working with 2 mics tonight, so we're going to pass the mic.
If you have any questions, I am Tony Bills and I know everything, so feel free to ask me.
Please don't back brother, switch it up a little bit, and I'll just go ahead and pass it. Go ahead and I'm going to sit the mic right here, and then as we go, we can just pass it on, because we're working with 2 mics. So I just want to thank everybody for coming on out tonight. And let them come down here and I can share with them. We still waiting on one. I thought I didn't know, but she coming. So just to give you a little background, I am Dina, that is my real name, Deanna. I've been stuck since school. Sometimes I do say Deanna because it's been stuck so long, but Dina. I am the founder of Love to Life Foundation. Love to Life is, the Bible tells us to love yourself as you love your neighbor. And sometimes we have found ourselves loving our neighbor more than ourselves. And when I say when you be going and doing for people and then you drain and you don't have anything left for you. So I was that person. And sometimes I still am that person. Then my cup get empty.
Okay.
And then I look for somebody pour into me. And then sometimes God don't let other people pour into you. He want to be the one to pour into you, so he'll sit you by yourself so he can pour into your cup. So that's where Love to Life officially came from. It was definitely a God sent because I was not a person that loved myself to life. I sabotaged relationships, whether it was a friendship, an intimate relationship, just not understanding how to maneuver through relationships. So Love to Life started being a witness to domestic violence. Then after I said that I did not want to be in domestic violence, I ended up finding myself in a relationship with my kid's father, domestic violence. We thought so much. We probably was worse than Ike and Tina. I probably really could have did that movie better. But it crushed some vessels in my eye where I'm partially blind in my left eye. I got some stab wounds in my leg from being stabbed with a knife. He kidnapped me and held me at gunpoint because I didn't want to be with him any longer. So I wanted to step out to start helping other women to break away from domestic violence. So that is a part of Love to Life. Also, those that deal with molestation, whatever the situation is, any type of abuse. I am a life coach, I'm a mentor, a therapist, all of those things. So I love to work with women. But I wanted to expand it. So because as I started maneuvering through things, I started realizing that men were broken too. And that men went through issues too. And sometimes when you're damaged and you're connecting to damage, you don't get good goods, right? Because it's brokenness, trying to fix brokenness. And so that is where this came from. So usually I do a conference, Love to Life, and it's a women's empowerment. But now, I've been trying to put this together for maybe a year or two. And Adam versus Eve, it is not competition, but it is to try to understand what is it that men want and what is it that women need. So I didn't want to say this. because this has been like one of the biggest fights, right? Whose fault was it? Was it Adam's or was it Eve's? Oh, you guys are already ready to answer.
100% Adams.
People don't understand that God created man first, right? So it is our job to lead. So if you want to point fingers and fault, I don't care what the person said to you, what they did, what they allowed, what they put in your space. You allowed it. You did it. You listened. He listened to Eve instead of God. So it is man's fault. It is man's job to lead.
All right. Straight to the punch. Anybody, I'm gonna get my thoughts about that. Anybody else on the panel got something to say about that?
That was, yeah, absolutely. It is for the men to listen to God first and foremost, and not the woman. But I would like to say that it was God's fault. So we want to push blame, we need to direct it to God, because it was set up before the foundation of the world for us to have that slain lamb to come in. So we had to take a fall.
To an extent. Okay. First of all, I cannot blame God.
Let me just say this. First of all, we got to take out the blame. The enemy is the accuser of the brethren. So we're not pointing fingers. Let's get this started now.
Let me take that back, as opposed to wasn't so much pointing blame as much accountability. And that's what people confuse me where the lines. It's not blame, it's accountability. Where did I fall?
The order was given to men. The order was given to men. Still yet, not pointing the finger at Eve. Because no matter what, the Bible said that all things work together. So it don't matter, we work together for the good. Because the first commandment was to be fruitful and multiply. So no matter what was going on, God still is giving you glory because He chose to be fruitful and multiply.
I think when we think about the context of Adam versus Eve, we have to think about the context of the trials and tribulations that God put before us. We can't blame Adam, and we can't blame Eve. I say this because what people fail to realize is that men are too often succumb to temptation, and women are much more advanced and sneaky and clever at presenting things. And I'm a woman. We are much more clever at presenting things to our mate with a bow on it than they are at presenting it to us. So when Eve presented the forbidden fruit to Adam, forgive me, I'm a baby in Christ, she presented it as if it was nothing wrong, knowing that the serpent had fooled her into taking the fruit, which is how she lured Adam, her mate, into the temptation with her. I say that to say this, that we walk through this world, oftentimes we lure our mate into temptation that we know out the gate is wrong. At some point, Adam should have took a stand and put Eve back in her place and said, I am the head, not the tail. And sin never would have came about. That's my interpretation on what I'm learning about the situation with Adam and Eve.
Now, moving on. I don't want to miss anybody else. So my thought is, I totally believe, even though everybody might think, I'm a strong person, I definitely believe in the head. I believe in men being in the lead. I believe in submission. I believe that when the Lord blesses me with a husband, my husband died, that he should be the head of my household. And it is for me not to be in that place to be sneaky and to be clever anymore. Because I was sneaky too. And I was trying to be clever too. You know what I'm saying? Through things. And he cheat, I'm gonna get my lick back, but you'll never know I got my lick back. That's the difference about women. Sometimes y'all don't know when we didn't got our lick back, and we have. And I'm not trying to tell them things, but I want us to be better when we being involved in relationships. Okay, so you want to touch on what I just said?
So let's go back to
What was the beginning part again? About man, household, right? And I think a lot of people misinterpret what that means as opposed to a man wanting control. And it's not so much of him wanting control, more so than me wanting to play my part. That is my role. It is my responsibility. I don't want power over you. I don't want to tell you what to do. I don't want to control you. I want to be that man that God sent me to be for my woman. And so as that woman, it is not that you're weaker, it's not that you're dumb or anything like that that may seem to come across today. Especially a lot of men today don't know how to lead properly, so they can come off like that. And that being said, when you follow, understand I'm also following God. I'm submitted to God. It's not just me telling you what to do. I'm following Him and leading you. And as far as the whole getting the lick back, my personal thing on that is, and granted, we're all not in the right mindset, so this is obviously we've all grown from stuff like that. But in the midst of stuff, why would you lower yourself to that person's level, knowing you don't want to be with that person, knowing you don't be that person, be like that person? So remove yourself from the situation before you hurt yourself even more. Why give yourself to somebody who doesn't need access to you, as opposed to that person who already hurt you?
that was good. That was good.
That was good. It takes maturity to come into that. You don't learn that. You know what I'm saying? It definitely has to be a process. Anybody else want to?
What was the question again?
We talked about, just getting, he wanted to elaborate on getting your lick back. So, all right. So, we got a question? Do you got a question?
I'm a single woman who raised 4 kids on my own, so I just think too, for the man to lead, he has to be able to make the woman feel safe and taken care of. So he has to provide and lead. So.
You're not wrong on that. But at the same token, it is also your responsibility to find that.
You understand what I'm saying? It's each person's responsibility to find that woman or that man who they want to be in their life. I'm not going to find a woman and say, hey, you need to act like this when you're already not acting like that. So clearly you're not someone whom I want to be with. I'm going to find that person who set themselves before God already to say, hey, this is what I want, this is what I want from you, and I'm exuding myself to attract that type of mate. So I'm not going to pick someone off the street, so okay, this is what we're doing now. Why would I try to change that person knowing already that they don't want to follow that route? You see what I'm saying on that point? Granted, you're right, a man needs to be able to lead, but at the same token, find that man who is capable and not someone who you have to train or teach to lead.
So that's the difference. That's the bad part. Why is the woman gonna find this man? That's the whole thing. Just think about this. How many women out here absolutely know that, oh, this man, oh, he seems like he's gonna be this. I'm gonna find him, It's so many guys that's out here that's portraying themselves to be a man, but in nationality, are they really a man or are they a boy? Are they a guy who does not haven't even had that opportunity to lead? How can you lead a household if you haven't even led anything in yours?
So, a lot of women like to think they have good intuition, right?
Not all that I've been with the past 30 days.
Okay. So, where is the discerning?
It's there. It could be there, right? But when you have the spade a spade. Everybody is not gonna go into a situation on 100%. I'm just, hey, listen, I'm 35 years old. I got 6, maybe 5, 6 kids. I'm a dog. You don't want nothing to do with me. I ain't got a job but first. I can't take care of you, bam. No, these men, it's a lot of them. I ain't got no kids. I got a degree. I ain't never been in jail. 10 years later, you found out this man got 8 baby mamas. His job was being a cook in jail. You know, it's like, when you get hurt, being honest. They should figure that out. But this is the thing. I mean, I just talk about time. I just talk about time. Because let me just give you an example. I know somebody that been with somebody for quite a long time, but didn't even realize that person was not the real person that they was really with until 5, 6 years later. You understand? Just like you said, people do what? What do they do? They lie.
And so sometimes we jump in and stuff.
And that's it. That's it.
To know the individual.
That's it.
My thing is to,
Granted, those are some good examples and some things like that do happen. But I believe more often than not, we see red flags at the beginning that we choose to overlook.
That is true.
And it's like, I get it, like, the whole premise of a relationship is to love. And it's not just, love is not just a feeling, right? You have to act in love. You have to show this person love. You have to show this person that you care. But how much, how do I put this? If you see certain things aren't panning out your way, how much before you start to open up your mouth? Speak on something that you do not like. And say, okay, I'm gonna have to remove myself from the situation. Like I said, I know not every situation is the same thing. You've been in a bad situation with a gun head in your head. I get certain situations like that. But I do believe majority of the time outside of that we do have the control and the ability to see, okay, this person is not for me. Okay, I have to remove myself.
That is correct.
Okay, just to touch bases on this, a lot of times when we going through the dating process, on both parties, both people are not presenting who they authentically are. They are presenting the desires you have spoken. So you're not dating the actual person in the beginning of the dating process. You're dating the fantasy of the person that you actually want to end up with. That facade is hid. At least the first 1.5 years, 2 years until their true identity begins to unfold, because keeping up a lie can't be done. You tell one, you got to tell another and another and another. And so when you can't hide who you truly are anymore, I know because I've been hiding. And when you can't hide who you truly are anymore, the real you shows the anger, the dysfunction, the toxicity, the pretending to be on one level of maintenance in your life when you really on a whole nother level. That goes for male and female, right? So we're actually in the dating process, and as we're pouring into these relationships, we're courting the ideal mate that we want, our heart's desire, until the true person becomes present.
go ahead, Miss.
I think a lot of times too, we go into a situation hoping, wanting, and ignoring red flags.
Yeah.
And we see certain things, but a lot of us aren't healed ourselves and in the space of healthy, to be able to identify certain things. So how can you identify unhealthiness in someone else when you're operating in unhealthiness? So, when you're not healed, certain things you see and you will overlook it because you want this, or you hoping it will get better, or, we just have this desire, well, maybe it'll get better, or I ignore it, or he didn't mean it like that, or she didn't mean it like that, or we make excuses for their behavior based on what you want, or just other situations, or his mother wasn't there, or his dad wasn't there, or he's going through things right now, when all those are excuses, and that's a you problem, not a me problem. So I think sometimes we get wrapped up in what we, like you said, what we hope it would be, and ignore what it really is.
We got
He finds a wife. It didn't say the wife finds a man. So there's always going to be some turbulence when a woman is looking for
Can't
something.
hear you.
Come speak up.
Can you hear me? Yeah, have you now? I said again, the Bible said he who finds a wife finds a good thing, obtain favor from the Lord. But the issue is sometimes that women be trying to find the man, then become turbulence because the order has changed. You must understand whatever God says, it has to fulfill what he says. His word is not coming back to him void. For me and my life, I found her in the club dancing on the floor. Can I be real with y'all? And I wasn't thinking about no God then. Can I take 100? We was dancing and we was in the streets, but I found her, and the first thing I said, you coming home with me tonight? And she looked at me like, no, I ain't, and walked off. I feel hurt because I thought I was something, to the women. That was my mindset. Can I be 100 with you? But later on, her sister walked up to me and said, that's my sister. I can hook y'all up. And I said, okay, cool. And from that point on, that's how we became now. 19 years of marriage and 3 kids and grandbabies. So the thing is this, we mess up when the women try to chase the man. It was never meant for that. It was meant for the man to get the woman. In other words, if he who finds something that God has given him, wait a minute, given him. In other words, you don't have to put everything out for man can see it. He got to find it. I'm trying to help somebody into that. Because sometimes women show too much, and then we think that, okay, this is what it is. No, actually, you getting what you showing. So if somebody approach you in an unapproachable way, guess what's going to happen? They only see him how to approach you because of your appearance. Is that making sense to somebody else? Okay, so okay.
That is the word. It is, the Bible says, whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor of the Lord in the verse. Let me say this. That's a real power couple. A lot of times we get an image of a power couple, and we think, we base it by pictures and, a 30-second video or somebody lying, acting like they got millions in their bank account. But a real power couple is going to trust God. They're going to maneuver through God, to my opinion. They're going to maneuver through God. They're going to grow together. They're going to hurt together. They're going to cry together. They're going to laugh together. Right now, we are a 3-minute relationship type situation because we so caught up in side chicks and extras and this, that, and the third, and we think it's more to maneuver in. But you got to look and see, does that person compliment who I am? And do I compliment who they are as well? So I do like what you said. We had a question in the audience. I don't want to miss our audience. I know y'all got some other questions out here. Y'all, we want interaction.
Right here.
Right here. Going up there with your wife.
So, my question is, and it really just comes from my own personal experience, and that is that we call into our life exactly what we need so that we can fix what is broken within us, because whether we want to believe it or not, we are all imperfect beings and there is no perfection. So my question is, don't you think we call in exactly what we need? And then the next statement behind that is, if you can't bear with me during my trials and my tribulations and my hardship, you definitely don't deserve me at my best.
Just to go back to what you said. You said men, they play these games. I think you're saying it wrong. It's men, they're not men, just their age don't make it. They're still boys. They're traumatized. So once they grow out of that stage, and they can be 60 years old, 70 years old. Some never even make it out of that, So that's what it is.
I'm glad you spoke on that. Because, and I think a lot of people, I'm going to touch on what you said too, and a lot of people don't understand that femininity is preserved and masculinity is made. Men, unfortunately, have to endure certain things, or rather boys, in order to become men. That is the whole premise of becoming men. You can't make a man by preserving him and not enduring and not facing life challenges, because that's not the men that most women are attracted to. They don't want an experience. And same for vice versa. Most men don't want a lot of women who went through a lot of things because a lot of times, like you just said, can someone ride with me through that? The majority of the time, your past is not my problem. Granted, if we're together, there are certain things, yes, I will ride with you with. We're together. But I shouldn't have to pay for your past and vice versa.
And that's true.
I went through my stuff by myself. You didn't do anything wrong. So why would I make you pay for it?
But if I love you, that's the presence of love. No? Love means I
Love
love
isn't-
all of you. The brokenness of you, that brokenness
No.
of you.
Here's my thing. The definition of love is an action, but more so than ever, love is also endurance, how much you can endure. But again, I don't have to I don't have to walk on eggshells, right? I don't need to walk on eggshells because of your past. I don't need to hold my emotions away because of your past, because you don't know how to deal with it. If we're gonna deal with this together, we're gonna deal with it together. Not me hold myself back for your emotion's sake. Then we cannot grow together if it's all about you. The whole point is to go to God, not to chase somebody else.
We got a question over here, or a comment.
Yeah, back to what the gentleman was saying a while back about a man finding a woman. I totally agree to that. Years back, my wife was 13, she was my girlfriend, and I was 15. I chased her on my moped. Months after months, a couple years after years, she used to walk down the street with these Daisy Dukes on, biking shorts. I'm chasing. She always said, "You a dog. I don't want nothing to do with you, Joe Rock. You a dog." So, fast forward this a little bit. I used to smoke weed, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Go to high school, mess up. My mother said, "You got one more chance. I'm giving you a transfer." I told my mother, "You might as well go and get it together now." Get my transfer together. I'm still getting high, doing my thing. Rolling dice in one of their new wallets. I transferred, went to Calumet High School. My sophomore year, I had a Toyota Camry. I pulled up to my girlfriend's house. We talking. She say, "If you really want to be with me, and you constantly smoking this marijuana, one of our kids come out of the forum because of you decide you want to smoke." I just spent probably $50, $60 on a night sack. It was raining outside. I dumped it all out. Drove the car tires over it like it did something. Ain't smoked since. But what I'm trying to say is that a man finds a woman does not find a man. And hey, God is good.
How long y'all been together?
Long enough.
30 years. So now I even want to say, because you said that, right? You threw the weed out for her, right?
Yes, I did.
When a man loves, this is for the men, right? When a man really loves a woman, right? He'll do what's needed to stay with her.
Do what's needed to get her, plus stay with her.
Oh, all right.
That's right.
So,
That's it.
Here's my thing too, what about finding a wife, right? A lot of times, majority of women think they're already wives when they're not. I'm not gonna just find a girlfriend. I'm not just trying to find some random woman. Are you a wife before I find you? Are you that woman who wants to take care of that man? Are you that woman who wants to be a provider, right? But it's the same thing as a man though. You can't find that woman unless you are a provider first, unless you know how to live, unless you have those experiences, unless you've been through yourself and understood the things that dwell within, that you make sure you don't bleed on your woman, right? In order to find that woman, you need to be that man. In order to find that man, you need to be that woman. So again, it's not about finding or chasing or anything like that. Yes, it's the man's responsibility to lead and to take her and make her his wife and all that. But at the same token, you need to be what you want to attract first. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to live my life, and then when that happens, then I'm going to be a wife. You don't even know how to be a wife yet. But you think it's going to happen when you marry that person. Yes, it goes on. That's not
That's true.
Yes.
But what about this? Every little girl's dream is to grow up and do something and be a wife and have kids and do this magical moment. But in my opinion, I have 3 daughters, right? And I instill in all 3 of my daughters, and they all under the age of 25. You understand? But the problem that I see, and whenever I say, oh, you're not wife material, blah, 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 every woman is capable of being a wife. Okay? They're capable. And every man is capable of being a husband. They're capable. But you cannot be a wife when you're not married. And that's the biggest issue that a lot of people are having. You can't be a wife. Listen, you can't be a wife. And how you gonna be a wife and that's not your husband? You said,
He's saying no over here in the corner, bro. Let's see what he's talking about.
yeah, because listen, why am I gonna do everything that a wife is supposed to do and I'm not a wife?
I'm just saying, you want to carry yourself, conduct yourself, that's it. I mean, that's true too, but it's just the way you carry yourself, that's it.
You can't be a wife to everybody you have a relationship with. You're just like you cannot be a husband because that's the problem. We got some white people in here. Did y'all know about this conference? What you saying over here?
What I'm saying is all men ain't husbands either, you know
That's
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying? So,
See, and this goes with discernment.
a wife can be a wife way more easier than a man can be a husband.
I think for both parties. The ability to properly fit the role comes with growth and maturity. And like everybody said, making sure you're healed and ready to step into that role. For a woman, becoming a wife is almost instantaneous, just as it is mothers. We have a switch. And when it's time, it just clicks on for us. And this is how we present the role of I'm your wife to a boyfriend or to a man who we're side chicken to. And it's not okay that we do that, but becoming a wife is almost knowledge to us. And same for men. If they around their grandfather and their uncle, I'm just saying in my experience, and that might not, my experience might not be everybody. But like my brothers, the biggest man, my friends get away, he not no good for you, and yada yada yada. But because they saw my uncle, they saw my grandfather, they saw my great grandfather in the husband context. When it was time for their switch to go off and them to become husbands, they became outstanding husbands.
Not everybody has that role model. Unfortunately, and as far as
I was just
So I'm just gonna say, you have to be wife or husband material. I think that's what we're really trying to get at. It is a taught behavior. You know, you can be brought up in a household and you can see all of that, but it has to be in you to be able to do it. You can't just say, this is what I'm gonna do, and look at what somebody else got. That gotta be in you to be able to do it. So you have to be that material before you get married, because anybody can get married, but everybody can't be a husband or a wife because they're not that material, they're not from that cloth.
Well, and then to go back on what you said about not being a wife or a husband for everybody, the issue is, again, not making the next person pay for the last one's mistake. It's not about giving yourself all. It's not about being stupid. It's not about being controlled or manipulated. It's, are you, again, healed enough to have good enough discernment to say, this is not working for me? So I'm not going to come into the relationship half-assed. Why would I come in again and make you pay for something that you did not do? If I'm looking for a good relationship, I'm coming as a full man. I want to be a man for you. I'm not okay, so what? I'm not going to hold open the doors. I'm not going to pump your gas. I'm not going to do all these things that a man is supposed to do for a woman because I'm not your husband yet. That's how you get to that point.
Well, let me get to that. The Bible says when a man flees from his father and his mother, he flees to his wife, they become one. So the issue is when you leave your mother and your father, and y'all become one. I can two up in the same lane as they agree. You have to be some type of agreement, some type of establishment that you will have. So it's not to blame his problems on her and her problems on her. It's when y'all become one, ain't no more problems. You see what I'm saying? There's one accord. You see what I'm saying to you? So we got to understand that most people don't. They take this thing as a game being married nowadays because they see other people happy because they married. So they say, I'm gonna do what she do. I'm gonna do what he do. But come to find out, you're not even mature enough to take on that lead check because you never know what she or him went through to get to the problem of the process that they in now. So marriage is good. Marriage is good, but let me tell you something. It's a process to marriage. There's a background. There's some hurt, some pain that has to be reconciled for us to get together on one accord. Because, like for me and my wife, we had to, man, listen, we come from the gutter. I'm talking about from the gutter. So I can only talk about what we went through. So, from my understanding, from me and her, like we've been through a whole lot, tied up and all the other stuff in the streets doing us. But still, yet God reserved us for others to say, guess what? If we come out the hood, y'all can too. So we are testimony to those that think that, oh, we can't do it. Yeah, you can do it. Because if he can use us, he can use anybody. My man was saying something about weed. Listen, I was in the finish of that a long time ago. But see, that's an X, what we don't claim. Because the Bible said, therefore, if any man be in Christ is a new creature. Old things have passed away. Now we got new creatures on our back. I'm sorry. I'm preaching. I feel like I'm preaching. So no more X. We not X this and X that. We new creatures now. So now, guess what? Our new beautiful wife that God has given us, we're going to make sure that we are one. That's all, man. And that's it.
While we're talking about marriage real quick for the married couple that's on the panel. So what I heard you say, y'all was tied up together, right?
Yeah.
Like physically.
Yeah, physically, with a pistol to my head, not hers.
Okay.
Well, yeah, my wife said hers too. Because it was, we won. But I mean, we was in the streets doing this and doing that, but we were still married. But still, yeah, God took all of that away.
Thank you, Lord.
I mean, he took it all away. Go ahead, sweetie.
Because I would like to say, like, we're talking about a lot of problems. And I think that what we need to understand is when we become one, when we come together, when we make that agreement and that covenant with one another, it's no longer your problem, my problem, but it's the problem. So we need to get to the root of the problem, period, and take care of the problem because we won. So regardless, the problem gotta go.
Are there stages to marriage?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There's always a trial and tribulation that only make your marriage stronger. Those trials and tribulations, those hurt days, those days you want to spaz out to your wife and your wife want to spaz out to you, it's called maturity. You got to have maturity. Because sometimes my wife will tell me something and I'll be wrong. And I can accept that from my wife. And a lot of men can't accept things from their wife. So now it becomes an issue. You see what I'm saying? So when you start accepting things, your wife, now you know you're doing wrong, and she come to correct you, that's good. Now I'm mature now. So if I could tell my wife some things too, and she be like, baby, you know you're right. So guess what? Now we walking on one accord with each other. It's not about she's trying to condemn me or convict me, or I'm not trying to condemn. No. This is what marriage is about. The only way you're going to get strong in marriage unless you go through something. And y'all still stand in the fire together on one accord.
And to finish that off, I want to say that yes, it is a man's job to lead, but God will also use his woman to lead him to get him back where he needs to be. He can still use a woman to lead her man.
Well, I feel like submission goes both ways. And then back to the problem, we have to tackle the problem together, not allow the problem to tackle by us.
Yeah, and also with that, with, us talking about the submission does come on both hands, and we have to understand that when we are together, the wife's job is to help the husband. That means I'm supposed to help you in every area of your life, my children's life as well. But if I'm not helping you with the problem, helping you come out of the situation, then what we're going to do is go down together.
Let me say this. The Bible told the men to love the wife, and told the women to submit to your husband, to your own husband. Not to other husbands, to your own husbands. Man, love your own wife, not the other wives.
I want to see who all agrees with this.
I'm trying to help somebody.
I believe that marriage comes before the wedding. How many people believe that?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. The wedding is for the people, the marriage is for you.
A lot of people don't understand the difference. And I met a lot of people who do not get the difference between marriage and a wedding.
Well, that's why, you know, and it's just, you know, stereotypical, but it's said, you know. That's why weddings that usually cost $20,000 and above, they don't make it over a year. But somebody that just go to the Justice of the Peace or have a small wedding, you know what I'm saying, they seem to last longer because they're not so much worried about, you know, the lavishness of trying to show other people, but they want to build together. So I have another question. Oh, wait, I got some questions down here, y'all. Let me get to these people.
It's not so much a question. Women nowadays, they don't understand what submission is. They want to be the boss. They want to be the head of the household. You cannot do that. A man once told me, we both can't be men in a relationship. There's only one man. And the women need to learn what submission is. It's not the man telling you what to do. It's not the man trying to be in control. You guys need to come together as one. Where you fall short, I take over. Where I fall short, you come in. And that's it. That's how you make things work.
And to even touch on that, I don't believe it's so much an individualistic problem as far as men and women. That's a very surface way to look at it, right? We are conditioned more than you want to believe to be the way we are right now. If you look at society, what is society preaching women today? They're not teaching you to be wives. They're not teaching you to be mothers. Of course, the individual woman, yes, they're teaching your daughters that. But as society, they're only preparing you to be boss women. They're only preparing you to be career women. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm not, you know what? I just want to say this. Because you said that now, because I'm a boss. I'm a boss. But here's the thing. Women, we have to, you know, so, right, me and my brother are a team here at Backstage, right? And so even when I say something to somebody, they be like, where's your husband? Oh, he's dead. So we already are looked at like we cannot be bosses, but I'm going to say part of that is our fault too, because we need to know how to separate the bedroom and the boardroom. It's two distinctive things. How I put it down in the bedroom should be entirely different from how I put it down in the boardroom. When I come home, whether if it was me and my husband that had a business together, when I come home, all of that, where I had to be up here to make sure we're good and nobody trying to hustle us and take this and take that from us, it comes down to, baby, what do you need? Right here, in the boardroom, I need to be your partner. But when I get home, I need to be your wife. And I think as women, we don't know how to separate that.
Hold on, because you just said that majority of women don't already look at you can't be a boss. Men don't say that about women, and I think most women don't understand this. Majority of women who are in a power role that I've seen handle themselves very poorly. It's not that I don't believe you can be a boss. I believe that you can lead properly. I believe that you're a strong person. I believe that women can be as strong as they want to be. But a lot of times, women show power and control versus actually leading. Not all of them.
That's right, that's right.
Not all of them. So like, let's say,
But it's an assumption.
whenever I speak on something, it's a generality.
But that's an assumption though, right? That's an assumption. It is an assumption because it's not all women. But you did say you said some. But it's an assumption because sometimes women in power in the boardroom now. We're talking about the bedroom. Because women that are, you know, strong, because I don't believe in an alpha female. That's not me. I believe that you can be a strong woman. Men are alpha. We're not alpha. So, but I do want to say, because if somebody may look at me, you know, when owning the businesses that I own, you automatically assume that I'm that person. I had a man tell me that wanted to date me. He said, I want to date you, but I'm going to have to break you down first.
But see, that has nothing to do with you. It has to do with that man.
Right, so that's why nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? So, because when I said, what do you mean by break me down? That means that I'm up here and you down here, so you trying to pull me down to a low level? And sometimes that's what we do. We allow somebody to pull us down to low levels and we'll feel bad about the place that we're in. We cannot apologize for being strong women because some of us are strong because we had to be. Some of us are strong because it's a self-defense mechanism. My strength came from the trials that I went through. So I can admit that I put up walls, but those walls were to protect me. Now that I'm learning, you know what I'm saying? So, because I was the person that thought I'm trying to be professional with my words. I was the person that thought every man was a dog, right? And there was no good in them. But now I got 7 sons. And so my 7 sons got to find 7 wives, right? So if I continue to degrade men, especially black men, what am I saying about my own?
So check this out. Like you just said, of that the majority of men that you came across were pretty much good for nothing. But this goes across men too. A lot of men that come across a lot of women are good for nothing. But how much is that is coming from yourself? People don't understand that you exude opposites attract. So if you're being that kind of person, say a feminine man, you're going to attract more a masculine woman.
If you're broken, you're going to attract broken.
That's true.
That's to piggyback off what Deanna just said. A lot of us women who go into relationships and display the masculine role is because we were forced into the masculine role, and it's like direct tied to generational curses. We have to be the mother while the mama is gone. We have to help mama pay bills because she couldn't read and write. These are things I've done since I was 10 years old. So I was forced to be my mother's spouse in a single parent home. When a mama broke it trickles down as a generational curse onto her children. Therefore, now that I'm grown and mature and I'm ready to be married and I'm pursuing my relationship, I'm struggling with the boardroom and the bedroom because I'm a boss in both. But I'm struggling to put that. I'm struggling to put that into the proper context, not to overrule my spouse with my bossiness that I can hold my own in the hustle of my business. We got a comment back here.
That's when that spouse step in and say, you don't have to be that.
Yes, but I'm so much that's true. And I receive that now, but I fought tooth and nail like, no, I'm the boss. I'm in control. And then I had to really explore the brokenness of me to say, hold on.
That's right.
This is your partner. If you need humbling, humble yourself. Pull back where you're being told to pull back, and then sometimes it's okay for you to follow and not lead. That's all I'm saying.
We got
So I would consider myself to be an alpha woman. Growing up in a household with 2 parents where the man took the lead, did what he needed to do in the household, and the woman was submissive. I am an alpha woman because I don't have a man here to allow me to live the soft life. So I'm out here grocery shopping, grabbing a bottle of water, nails broke, running a business, taking care of my household, until I meet that man who can show me that I can truly be soft. I don't have that opportunity to be soft. And so when a man comes to me and he's like, oh, well, you got everything together and you do what you need to do and you run this and the other and you don't give me opportunity, show me. Show it to me, and then I'll show you my submissive side. And I'll show you I'm a wife. I'll show you I had a wife with potential.
Why is it his responsibility to be soft?
That's what I was going to say.
Because if I can say that, it'd be your responsibility to turn me hard. To make me a hard masculine man.
But in a woman's role, we should have the opportunity to be soft.
You should have the opportunity,
but
it's not my responsibility.
You do have that opportunity. It's your responsibility. You do have that opportunity. That's what your responsibility. That's when you take control of you and all that. But there's no man in my house. You don't need a man. All the roles. Ain't nobody out here cutting grass. Ain't nobody out here shoveling snow. Ain't nobody out here picking up the heavy
That has nothing to do with how you present yourself.
Those are not opportunities to be solved, but I have to handle it. If I don't do it, it don't get done.
But this is the thing, this is what we are, like our community. Our community always say, well, I need a man for this, or I don't need a man for this. This man wasn't here, this man wasn't that. But you can't put your softness to the side because there's no man there. It's not fair to you.
It's not fair,
Okay.
but where's the opportunity?
Let me give you an
You have
example.
to make that opportunity.
Let me give you an
You
example.
have to make that opportunity as a woman to say, okay, today is the day that I'm not gonna be stressful.
How does it
This is
sound
gonna
to
be,
you?
I mean, self-care and different things.
Yeah.
Check this out. How does it sound to you?
But I'm just saying, day to day, I have to be that man in that role in my life.
You invest-
Check this out. I know a dude who said to me, maybe when I meet the right woman, I could be that kind of man that starts acting manly and doing stuff. But how does that sound?
Foolish.
Are you gonna wait for him to change himself?
Ain't no way.
So like if I come around you and then are you gonna be soft all of a sudden? Or I'm gonna have to fight you tooth and nail?
I mean, don't be mean, but I'm just saying.
See, like,
in
I
my
wanna
day
deal
to-
with me.
But in my day to day, like if you watch my day to day, there are things that I have to do because
There are things that men have to do to be soft.
That's true.
So should I just stay soft?
And I think if you know that you're seeking and you're searching, and you know that this is an issue that, you know, is inside of you, I think you start to prepare yourself, whatever that looks like. I think you start to shape and mold yourself, whatever that looks like.
And no one's taking anything from you. Yes, you have to take care of a lot of things. But that does not mean you have to be in a masculine state to do so.
Yes,
In my opinion.
Yes, you do.
And no, you do not.
I mean,
I know a
in
lot
every
of women who've
aspect,
been
but
through
I'm
a lot
just
of
saying,
things.
there are some things
I know
that I have
other
to
women
be
who've been through rape and lots of other things who still remain very soft.
Yeah.
You would never even know. The warmth and the heart that they have, the warmth that they exude, you wouldn't even know that they've been through that kind of thing. There is no need for you to be in your masculine at all.
It's a defense mechanism. And you, it's up to you to search your soul.
I mean, I think it, I'm just saying in the respect of when you meet people and you're dating people and they see you doing these different things and they're like, oh, well, do you have this up? Yes, I absolutely do. Yes, I take care of me. Yes, I come in here for you. But I want to be a passenger princess. I want to live with
It's a part of the characteristics that you're taking off in your being. Because even if I'm the married woman, my being, my softness is still a particle of me. So if my husband, God forbid, something was to happen and I take on that role, which I had to do that because when we came on the streets, my husband stopped selling drugs and I was working. I was doing a lot of things because he was trying to change his life. So there were a lot of obstacles that we had to go through, but it never stopped me from being who I am and that my softness. So you don't have to take on the man's character in order to perform the duties because we are already built to maintain things anyway. Because that's why we're helpers. So what you do is you do what you're doing because you have to do it to survive. And we have a thing with building up this hardness in us that we have to be hard because we're doing these things, but you don't have to be hard because you're doing the things that you have to do to live.
That's a message.
And I think that's the difference. We really have to understand, because some women, right? So we're talking about a married couple. We're talking about a married couple that came out of a situation. He came out from hustling, right? Selling dope. A lot of us that mess with the dudes that sell dope because I love a thug, right? So I know, right? So, and that is my problem. So that's why I be like, God, send me a sanctified thug because he knows the right. So here's the thing. If my sanctified thug has come out of the streets, right? And so he got all these felonies against him. And also I'm gonna say, so if Trump wins president with a felony, I feel like everybody should be expunged from their felonies, depending on what they were. So, but I'm just throwing that out there since we going live. But anyway, but for real. If my man, and I know, because you know when you got a solid man, and I'm not trying to be funny enough, even if you cheat, whatever, you still know if you got a solid man. You know, because he gonna be, if he a hustler and a provider, if he got a 9 to 5 and he a provider, he gonna make sure the kids good. You know what type of man you got at the end of the day, no matter what your trials and tribulations are. You know, nobody is shocked at what type of man they got, right? So, if my man is coming out the streets and he's trying to get his life together, and I know he got all of these things against him, I'm gonna work hard to make sure that we okay. And I think sometimes that doesn't make me masculine because that's what I want to do. Because sometimes we run as soon as somebody don't have anything. So now, and then, so y'all, we think about, we got to grow old with people, right? Yeah. Are you going, so when this person gets sick, when this person gets crippled, what are you going to do? If you quick to run about money, but what if they get to a place and they need you to wipe their butt?
I'm gonna in that order, baby.
You got.
I'm gonna
You gonna do it. But we don't want to do nothing. We don't want to fight. We don't want to work for anything. We selfish when it comes to certain things, or we'll go like, oh, he did this, he did that. I wish I would. But you stayed through that. He did this, he did that, and you still wishing he would. And you know what I'm saying? So no matter what. So, and I think those are the things that make people a power couple.
But let me touch on one thing that you said. You said that if he becomes sick or something happens to him, that's a whole different story from him not having anything and then he leaves you. Because my mind is somewhere else 30 years later. Because it's a difference. Some women have it messed up by saying, okay, since I'm a boss, I got this and I have this, I don't need you, blah, blah, blah. Okay? But then you have that man that says, I done watched her every move. She a boss, she gonna make it happen. I ain't gotta do nothing. Right? So it's a difference between if this man that I'm with and he's my husband, I'm just gonna say 10 toes down. If my husband lost everything he got right now, so help me God, are you gonna see me at McDonald's, White Castles, South Shore Nursing Home? You gonna see me everywhere because I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make sure he good. Yeah. That's because he's holding the fort down today. Now, if this man come off the streets, he ain't did nothing, I ain't got it. I'm
basement
bug. So in this case, I'll go back and say this. A lot of things that we do today are perpetuated by society. Like you said, as far as going back about women and the masculinity, right? For some reason today in society, only today, that we tell women that you have to be strong like a man in order to be strong.
And that's stupid.
And it makes no sense.
Because I'm a woman every day.
Why do you have to be like a man in order to be strong?
You don't have to be like no man.
So that tells me that, okay, I can be strong being like a woman. It's not my place.
It's two different strengths.
That's it.
But
that's what we have to learn.
That we are not equal as people. We are equal as a value to the relationship. We have equal value, not equal as people. We don't function the same, we don't think the same, we don't want the same, we don't need the same. At the end of the day, we all need love and attention to survive, but we cannot function in each other's role.
Let me get, so I'm going to try to move to some people that we have not heard from, so I seen her hand, so I'm going to come over here, okay?
I just wanted to say, I don't think that as women, we intentionally try to be the man.
No. Like I said, society.
More to her point. Yeah. You know, we just end up being in situations. You know, prior to me being married, I was a single mother, so I had to do a lot of things for myself, my family. And when I did get married, for me, I had to learn how to bring that down.
That's right.
Right? Because prior to when I got married, I was 30, I was close to 40. So all these years, I've had to do all of these things for myself. But then once I got married, I had to realize, because I would make decisions without even asking him or without even consulting him. And I would come and he would be like, well, you did X, Y, Z and you didn't even say anything. So now I have learned to be very intentional that I'm not alone and I'm not just by myself.
But you said the magic word. The magic word was learn.
Yes.
You had to learn
Yes,
that.
I had to learn that. So I don't think that we want to be, life has forced us to be in that way, but for me, I check myself.
That's right.
And so I realized, hey, it's just not you anymore. You have to realize that you've intertwined now, so you have to wait to make that decision.
That's true. So let me really fast. So I said about society perpetuating this idea. How many of you guys remember that song, I-N-D-E-P-E-N-D? So when you hear that song, what does it say? Independent, right? She got her own house. She got her own car. She got her own clothes. Cool. We get all these things and ideas that perpetuated in our songs, in our TVs, and they're telling men they don't have to be men today because women can do it by themselves. So why do I have to step up my role if you're going to do it by yourself? Everything that I'm trying to do for you is not even appreciated. Not because of who you are as women. It's because what society is telling you to appreciate and not appreciate. It's what they're telling men to do and not to do it.
But it's dealing with that maturity.
For sure.
And I don't think it's so much society as it is our own families in our community. It's not, we don't even work out the TV.
No. You see it at home. Where do a lot of us learn from? The things that we watch.
But this is the thing, back in the day, so you know, like in the 90s, we had social media, we didn't have all of that.
What is in the schools? The school system. How many people are you going to school with different kids, different families and backgrounds, perpetuating different ideas that you're not even around anymore. You're not even around your kids. So how do you think this is going to come out?
Well, you know what, but some things, yeah, so I'm very transparent. To those that just come in, I'm Deanna. I am the founder of Love to Life, so I like to do different things like this. So, some things, even without social media, right? So, forgive me, y'all. So, right, I come from, let me say this, and this was something that I learned from my bishop, and I took it in. I don't believe in generational curses. I do believe in generational habits.
Then my mother was in her 30s when I was, a teen. And my mother said, I'm going to allow you to sit in this kitchen with me and my girlfriend so that you can hear the stories we got going on with these men, so that you can hear it and you already know it. But before me, like my oldest sisters and all of my older cousins, they couldn't sit at the table. They had to go outside, they got to sit on porch, they got to go somewhere else because mama, they didn't want them to hear that. And today I changed that for my daughters. We talking about everything. Everything we're going to talk about, but everybody don't have that parents. You see what I'm saying? Everybody don't have that to say, okay, but that's why we having these kind of
one of the things that I changed for my children too. And we got so open with talking about things. I remember talking to one of my older sons, and I was like, how was that situation going with you and such and such? And he was like, oh, I just got some weird and I'm I said, now you went too far. But I still use
But you opened that door up. But you opened that door for them though. I'd rather for them to talk to you than talk to somebody else.
So I use it for a teaching moment as well. And so sometimes things that we'll look at as disrespect, sometimes you gotta go back and be like, listen, everybody can't put their mouth on you.
That's
everybody,
right.
You can't put your thing in everybody.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to meet people. You weren't even talking to her long enough. You don't know if she got a disease or anything like that. And even taking one of my daughters to the doctor one time, just getting them prepared for birth control and learning and understanding. Right. The doctor's like, you really sitting here and she okay with you? This never happens because I didn't, and don't get me wrong, I believe I really had a good mother, but those aren't the things we talked about.
That's
so,
right.
You know, whatever age I was with my first baby, I was still in high school, 17, pregnant because I didn't know how to go to my mother and say, hey, I want birth control because, you know, I want to say, because I got a 60-something-year-old, my mother's still older than 60, but I want to say that generation more so didn't say too many things. The only thing you might get from them is you better not get pregnant. Well, what does that mean? I better not get pregnant. You better not be out there being fast. What does that mean? Little Johnny like me. You know what I'm saying? Now emotions are growing in me. You know what I'm saying? How do I contain it? And I feel like we have to get to a place to make sure that we're teaching our children that. Because if we don't teach them, you see a 5-year-old twerking. A 5-year-old should not be twerking.
Amen.
I'm going to let her speak real quick before they leave.
Come on, Mom.
Hi, giving honor to God, who is definitely the head of my life, first of all. My name is Mary, they call me Back Girl. We are a social club here. We are the Lady Cobras, and we're a social club, and we are uplifting women and anything that needs uplifting. We do a lot of charity work and things like that. All I want to say about men is this. I'm for real. They don't understand loyalty and faithfulness. They don't know how to be loyal. Some of them, most of them. They don't know how to be loyal and faithful. They don't understand loyalty and faithfulness, you know.
What about women? Do all women know that?
Come on. All women know that.
Not all women.
Kind of go with the flow of the man, you know what I'm saying? We get y'all to lead, but sometimes y'all don't know how to lead, you know what I'm saying? You go left, right, upside down, round.
And I'm going left, right, with them.
Where are you? I am, what'd you say? Anyway, it's weird. It's just weird. I'm born in the 60s. I am 63 years old. And I've been around the block, you know. I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. I've been in a lot of places. I had a lot of money. That shit don't mean nothing. And a lot of different guys. That shit don't mean nothing. And when it boils down to it, it's all about respect, loyalty, and faithfulness. To me, that's what I see. So.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You said that all men are loyal and faithful. Okay. Because I was going to say, could it just be the men that you dealt with?
That's right.
No.
That's it. That's it.
Because to answer actually, no.
No.
It's a lot of men that I've seen, you know what I'm saying? Not just one. I only met 4 men in my whole entire life. And I'm 63 years old.
Okay. Well, let me. Yeah.
I think it got a lot to do with the generation, though. I think it got a lot to do with that generation. That generation, them 60, I'm trying to tell you.
I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on trying to figure nobody out, because as long as I know who I am, what I'm about, what I want, I know where I've been, I don't know where I'm going, but I don't mind doing what I need to do as far as my male goal in my life, my male friend goal in my life. So to all women, until you realize who you are,
that's it,
what you are, where you want to be, and who in your life,
and who
then there's nothing a man can't. If he not there for you, if he not on the same level that you are, it's just you wasting your time.
Just don't force it.
Seriously, wasting your time. Me personally, I'm not gonna deal with you if you broke. That's number one. That's number one. You got to have something to get over here. Because I got bills, I got a mortgage,
and
that's over 15 years. I've been married twice. And I'm okay with doing it by myself.
I understand.
I know my worth.
That's right.
So if a man come up in my face, he may as well be second to the code. So you have to come correct, or you're not going to come at all.
Aunties, y'all want to I want to talk to you. Oh, y'all got to listen to this
They'll do it as they go.
I just want to touch bases on that real quick. That's generational talk. That's generational talk. And the 60-year-olds, I just want to touch on 60. Because the women that's over 60, I hear so many of them talk the same way. And a lot of the women that's in their 50s didn't have that type of relationship or that talk. That's why the 50-year-old women is where they at, because of what them 60-year-olds, them generationals have told them. That's not fair to them. And but that's the problem. Every woman that I know, I swear, in their 60s think that same thought. And it trickled down to them 50s. And that's why it's up to these 40s to come up in there and let these 20s know that it's okay to not be okay. You don't need all of that. It don't take, I'm not gonna take, and that's why we single. Because every time my husband say, baby, well, we're gonna have to do it this way, I'm like, oh, okay, we're gonna do it that way.
See, love became transactional instead of just freely given.
That's
what
right.
will you do
Because
for me
let's
in
think
order
about
to get this? And trust me, because I've said something stupid like that before, to where I said, if you piss me off, do you think you deserve to tell you that I love you right now? That's not a way.
But just think about this. My grandparents, they probably get 100 right now. When I was a kid, I stayed with my grandmother and my grandfather. Okay? My grandparents was like probably 60 when I was probably 8. Okay? So my grandmother was a housewife. So she made sure everything was done. My grandfather, he went to work in that steel mill. He did everything in that steel mill, right? So them kids that's in that house, they saw that was going on with grandma and my mama didn't have to raise a finger. She didn't have to do none of that because my daddy did it all, right? But then when them kids, ain't none of them got no husband today. Why? Because they was looking for their granddad, for my grandfather in them. And then my grandmother was the one to say, listen, it don't have to be all like what you're saying.
Right.
But then it was that hurts. Every woman, so many women in their 60s today are by themselves by choice.
But like you just said, I saw I'm looking for my grandfather or my dad, but the issue is you weren't looking at your mother being a wife.
That's right.
And same thing for men. You're not looking at your dad being a husband. You're looking at the other person and wanting that in the next person without giving what you need first.
And they didn't see that. That's the problem. That's a problem with a lot of women. Let me tell you something. I done came across so many women since I've been married that want to cling to me because they say, oh, I like the way her husband handled her. I like the way he do this and that. And then they try to come up I'm just being honest. A lot of women, they see how you carry yourself and then they try to do the same thing. But you don't know what I've been through.
Yes.
You don't know why this man treat me the way he treat me. He don't treat me because I'm pretty and fabulous. And that's I can take this wig off, this girdle off. I can be 300 pounds, and that man still gonna love me because 2 years ago I was 295 pounds. That man gonna love me regardless, and it's not because of what I can give him. It's what I've already showed him. You gotta show these men in the beginning.
To men is everything. I promise you. You give me a loyal woman, I will give you everything in this whole world.
Outstanding. Standing ovation. Let's go. That's it. That's first.
Don't get it.
I'm a woman first.
You don't have to walk around with your chest out.
Show
You don't have to say, well, if you don't do this for me, I can't do this for you. You need to be a woman first.
That's right.
What is your definition of a woman?
That's right.
You have to be a lady. A lady. You have to know how to present yourself.
That's correct.
The way you present yourself is how a man is going to approach you. That's what you need to see. My mistake, and I'm only speaking for myself, I was a single mom. I worked 2 jobs, went to school, raising a son. I thought I had to be alpha. I thought I had to be strong. I had to do this. When I finally got married, and then my husband was trying to be a man, I would not let him.
That's right.
Because I was not used to that.
That's right.
And I had to check myself.
And that's the number one thing you had to do was check yourself.
I had to check myself.
But not every woman is willing to check themselves.
Let me stop her right there because I'm gonna tell you right. This is my mother. So when she got married, that man was not a man.
Exactly.
Let me put that first. He tried to play a part, but he was not built for it.
He was not. He was not a man. He was not the man that God didn't put in my life. Because I had to be the wife and the husband because he couldn't step up to be the man that I needed him to be.
But are you still with him today?
No, I'm not.
And that's the difference.
That's the
difference.
I learned my lesson.
You woke up.
I woke up.
Some women still sleep.
There
it is.
That's not what I'm looking for.
That's right.
So much. Because they took so long to get my text.
Girl, you get one. You get one.
So I'm a single mom. I raised 4 kids on my own. I had to be the mom and the dad. There was no dad. There was me. So I had to play both roles sometimes. And I want nothing more than to be his feminine as I can be, but I damn sure can't be feminine if no man is not going to step in the role as a man and act like that.
If you
and make me
keep
feel safe so that I can lay down my masculinity and be the woman that I am supposed to be, because I damn sure want that.
Let me tell
Are you trusting towards that man?
Wait, it ain't even that. It's not that. If you keep telling yourself that you can't be a lady and you can't, you won't.
Not anymore.
You won't.
No, I'm saying, when I've been through that, like, I want nothing more. I'm learning now because I've healed so much.
That's the key. You gotta heal.
But here, so this goes back to my next point, right? So a couple things. So
You got two things. Let's go.
So you just said right now, you said you want me to tell you I love you and who we are and what we call into our life because we call it in.
That's
whether
right.
it's your kids, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your business relationship, those three things are going to serve up to you exactly what you need to heal. You can say, oh my God, this person is attacking me, or you can say, why did that just happen? What is it that this is trying to teach me? Because I'm damn sure about to learn a lesson from it so I don't do it again. Or you can shift the blame to somebody else and say, oh no, I don't deserve that, that's not me. But you can run from it all you want, but you're going to run right back into it again until you fix it.
Let me ask you a question, just you personally, you specifically. As a single woman, by yourself on your own with your 4 children, are you struggling to display your soft side around your home? Simply because the man not present? Because if you are, I was gonna say, if you struggling as a single woman in that, just because you're a single mom, on your own with 4 children, I walk your walk. You should not be struggling to show your feminine side. Even if it's a mixture of boy kids that you're raising, you still should not struggle to show your feminine side. In no aspect. I have shoveled snow, took out trash, washed cars, changed tires, changed my own oil, my brakes, all that as a single mother of 4 girls on my own 19 years. When I tell you I never struggled being feminine, ever. And like you should, if you're struggling to put down masculinity, and just because I had to take on male responsibilities because it wasn't a man in my home, I did not want to be masculine because I felt like my mother had already stuck a lot of that on me, and I didn't want to pass that on to my children. So I say all this to just say, like, if you struggling, something wrong inside.
Yeah, no, I definitely can be feminine, really feminine. What happens though in a relationship, if the man shows me that he does not have me, then that turns that off.
Okay.
You know, otherwise, like, and because I found God and I have I've given it all to Him.
Good for you.
I don't have to do any of that.
Amen. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I just wanted to check because I'm just like, if you still struggling just because the absence of a man there, then something else is going on the inside. I just wanted to ask.
But this is another point, though. I don't think everyone understands what masculinity and femininity means.
Yes,
because a lot of people trying to make it seems as if, and this one thing I just want to touch. I just hate when people say, you don't know too much because you got a husband. You don't understand because you got a husband. You don't do this. I want to tell them, all them women will always tell me, you don't know because you got a husband. You don't know because I do have a husband.
Exactly.
The thing is that everyone wants to make sure that this man, because this guy is a man, he has to be masculine. A lot of people think masculine means what? They're strong, they can shovel snore, they can do this, they can do that. But women have a masculine side, and so does men have a feminine side.
Yes. Yes.
And the thing is, it's not even whether it's size to size in my mind. It's about where you are today versus where you were before. Because at the end of the day, it's this. This man can be broke down, busted, and disgusted today, but he was strong yesterday. Anything is liable to happen. And that's why we have those traits inside of us to say, okay, bam, I do got this switch, this light switch within me that I have to turn on at certain times. And you have to turn those things on and off. You can't be this high. Because let me tell you this. A lot of people that want to be that high, I'm important, I want everybody to like me, this, that, and the third. That's when that narcissistic personality disorder come out, because it's all about me. I'm high. It ain't got nothing to do with you. If I'm right, I'm right. Even when I'm wrong, I'm right. And that's a big go on and on, because I can go on and on.
There's two roles in a relationship, right?
Yours and mine.
Exactly. Understand this. The Bible says this. The Bible told the man.
No switch. Three sides to the story.
But yeah, her side, and there's the truth in the middle. There you go. But there's two sides. Listen, God told men to love the woman, not woman love the man. See?
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness.
Get it.
I'm trying to help somebody, but he told the woman to submit to the man. And sometimes the women would try to take the man position, try to love him. No. Now it's an issue because you're taking my spot. So now it's like you trying to change what God has already done. I love you. Let me be the love what God called me to be to you.
But what happens when you got a man that don't do that?
His whole thing still is this. Woman's supposed to submit, and man's supposed to love. No matter what goes on in a relationship, your object is to submit to your husband.
And what is the husband's role? Tell me. Because how do he love her?
That's it.
No.
Love is an act.
How?
Love is an act.
But how? Because you got a lot of women out here who want to know this.
Like I just said, if my next door, when I talk, I don't love you. You don't deserve to hear that. It doesn't matter if you make me mad or not.
Okay.
My job is to love you. It doesn't matter if you just piss me off and I'm
Can you just explain?
Let me help you out. Love is
How
not.
does a man love a woman?
I'm finna say
But not
something.
just love her properly.
Love is not buying women gifts. That's not
Hell
love.
no, I can buy myself.
I'm just hypothetically speaking because most people think that's love. These women nowadays
Teach them,
think
Tim.
that's love because a man buying you flowers, buying you
That's
cars,
it.
buying you a house, buying you. Listen, that's materialistic because
That's
if you
right.
stop buying it,
That's
you
right.
still love you.
That's right.
But you still love me when you stop lying. I'm
That's
just hypothetically speaking. Because most people think love is not because you give me all these gifts.
That's
If
it.
the gifts is gone, are you gonna still love this man?
Tomorrow is a gift.
Come on, I'm trying to help somebody here because I know there's some people that need to understand because the first thing a man says, "Oh, I love you, baby, because I'm giving you all these, and I'm giving you money, I'm giving you earrings, I'm giving you this." Okay, when all that stuff, then what? Because true, authentic love it's not a gift, it's action. So in other words, let me explain something to you. This is what love is. Let me explain to you. I ain't got no money today.
That's right.
What we gonna do is we
I'm
gonna
gonna
sit
cook.
here in this house.
That's it. I'm
and,
cooking.
and as a wife, you gonna be my help me.
That's right.
I'm gonna get something.
That's
and
right.
Guess what? And you gonna cook it, and we gonna eat it.
And that's true. And that's true.
Listen,
That's true.
If I buy a house is not a home.
That's
it's
it.
a woman in.
And that's
It's
it.
a home.
That's right.
That is the power of femininity.
You help keep preaching.
But that's true.
Action of love is when you're young and you haven't figured it out. And I'm gonna get a little bit in right now because in 2005, at the age of 25, I was diagnosed with cancer. An action of love is the man standing there, toiling with you, praying for you, caring for you, taking care of you. He young, he could be in the streets doing him, but yet he was there taking care of me.
That's right.
That's love.
I don't think that love is just an act. Though first and foremost it is. Love is also more so endurance. How much can you endure in that? Like you just said. With standing with you,
I agree.
that's enduring a lot on both ends. How much can you endure with your person?
Let me say this.
I just want to say something simple. Coming from the streets, a lot of us, we're boys. We're boys. And the true thing is, in my household, there was no God. I was more comfortable with the devil because that's all I knew. I go outside, there's dope dealing, there's women, there's everything sinful out there. If we start at the house and implement God first, all this goes away. And that's it. That's all I'm trying to thank you.
This was